Please join me in welcoming Ms Machika Yamada. Her speech title is What Accepting is About. What Accepting is About. So, Ms Machika Yamada, would you come up to the stage?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Master of Ceremony, honorable judges, and all the audience. I will now start my speech. Your daughter might have a heart problem. The day my daughter was born, the doctor spoke to me in a low, smooth voice, looking straight into my eyes. At that moment, my daughter was sleeping in my arms, smelling of sugary white milk. I'll never forget that day, how my perspective changed by gazing at the doctor's sharp, dark black eyes. Let me share what I learned from this past few years through all 5 senses. Do you know how many newborn babies have heart problems? According to the WHO, about 1% of live births worldwide are affected by heart disease. It means that about 1 in 100 babies have some sort of heart condition. A large number of children suffer from heart disease. I was absolutely certain that I would give birth to a healthy, beautiful baby, just like I was. I never imagined, even for a moment, that my daughter would face any health issues. Immediately after her birth, she was taken to a different hospital by ambulance and diagnosed with having 2 holes in her heart, which affected her breathing. I can't remember all the exact words the doctor used, but I vividly remember him saying he might have to open up her chest to have a heart surgery. I didn't want to accept it. I just couldn't. My mind went blank from shock, and the physical pain from childbirth made it hard to sit up straight. I bought new, warm, comfortable clothes, a lot of picture book, even a fine wooden bed just for her. Please imagine how awful it will feel to not have a chance to use them. During my hospital recovery, I saw countless mothers holding their babies and smiling at each other. For the first time, I became accurately aware by looking at my empty hands that I was comparing myself to others. I couldn't express these feelings to anyone due to COVID restrictions. My husband was unable to visit me, so I had to manage my emotions alone. I wept silently at night while trying to be a strong mother in front of everyone. For a whole month, I continued visiting my daughter in the NICU, the ICU room for newborn babies. Each time I entered that place, I was greeted by the smell of a swimming pool, the high-tone beeping sound from some machines, and the sight of doctors and nurses running around to save countless tiny lives. I tried not to look at other babies because I found myself comparing their conditions to my daughter. One day, the corner of my eyes captured a very tiny pink baby lying in a clear plastic box connected to various machines, which had quite a few colors. Most people would be shocked by such a sight, but I felt a sense of relief because I knew deep down in my heart that my daughter's condition is way better than this little baby. I hated myself and fell into deep depression. I couldn't eat or sleep properly. Only time continued to pass. A year later, I was still struggling with my emotions. Time, however, waits for no one. We decided that my daughter would undergo heart surgery. We had to stay at the hospital for a few days to ensure she has enough strength for the procedure. At that time, I never expected a miraculous encounter would happen in my life. While my daughter and I were in the playroom, chatting and playing with a clean used toy, I met a little boy and his father who were also waiting for heart surgery. We briefly spoke, and the boy's father asked, "How many times has your daughter had heart surgery?" I was stunned by his question because I never thought people could endure heart surgery more than once. I told him, this is her first and last. He quickly replied, what luck. This is my son's third. Still, he's getting better because he used to have oxygen mask on, but now he's breathing on his own, like your daughter. Even though he was comparing his son's situations to my daughter, I can tell from his light brown eyes that they were filled with hope, that he accepted his situation. From this conversation, my perspective changed 180 degrees. Based on my experience, people sometimes have emotion that cannot be explained by logic or reason. Therefore, people should not focus on comparing themselves to others. They should instead accept their own feelings, understand their situation one step at a time, and most importantly, forgive themselves. It's okay to not be perfect. Life is perfect because it is not perfect. Life is like a big puzzle of a masterpiece. We spend our whole life trying to complete this puzzle. But most of us, including myself, don't have all the puzzle pieces. Some pieces are missing, so we cannot fill in all the gaps. No matter how hard we try, there's always holes in the puzzle. And that's okay, because this is life. To complete the beautiful masterpiece, we need to borrow puzzle pieces from others. To borrow the exact piece, it is important to share our own masterpieces. I borrowed an unforgettable puzzle piece from the little boy's father. I borrowed a bright, beautiful puzzle piece from my daughter. The day my daughter's surgery went well, she reached out with her tiny hand and grabbed her own piece. That moment made my masterpiece even bigger and more beautiful. Now, I have a family picture filled with a big smile. I want to share my puzzle pieces as many people as I can, hoping to be someone who can lighten up other people's darkness with my masterpiece. We can start by having a small conversation. That's what it means to accept. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Yamada. Now we will proceed with the question and answer session. Mr. Eboshi, please.
Okay, good afternoon, Yamada-san.
Good afternoon.
Okay, how do you feel right now?
I was super nervous, but I finished, so I'm kind of relieved.
Okay, that's very good. Firstly, thank you very much for sharing us with your story and story about your daughter. Okay, thank you very much. So let's move on to my first question. So after your daughter was born, you were very, very struggling with your emotions and the situation between yourself and other people. But you could successfully change your mind after conversation with some father in the hospital. So why did the conversation between the father helped you to change your mind?
I think because the little boy's father was in the same situation. It was in the same situation that I was. So maybe I had kind of related with his opinion. That's why I think I kind of changed my feeling from that.
So you could feel some kind of connection between the little boy's father and yourself's experience. Right. Okay. So here comes the next question. Well, people worries various things, jobs or human relationships or any other things, and many people are still struggling with something else. So would you please give some kind of pieces of advice for people who are struggling with something right now?
Thank you for your question. Actually, to tell you the truth, I had a baby in my stomach a few days ago, but she couldn't come to this world. And I really had a hard time recently. But there are people who can help you in many ways. So I want to tell people that you can take time. It's okay to take time, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to be overwhelmed. But there are people that always give you a helping hand. So don't be afraid to say, help me at those difficult situations. I really want to tell them that.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So hopefully, seems that time is up. Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Oboshi and Ms. Yamada. Please go back to your seat. Now we will have the judging time.